The elite. You see, they're trying to push me out. And they're trying to silence you. You, the hard-working people that make this city work. The billionaires are not going to determine who the next mayor is. You, the people, will.
In our politics lead, that is Republican nominee, New York personality, founder of the crime prevention group, the Guardian Angels, Curtis Sliwa, who remains characteristically defiant as pressure for him to drop out of the New York's mayor's race ramps up. The cover of the New York Post says, quote, "Just walk away, Beret." Even allies tell Sliwa to drop mayor bid. Don't let Zohran win. This is all, as the subhead would suggest, a last-minute effort to boost the chances of disgraced former Governor Andrew Cuomo in terms of his ability to beat the Democratic nominee Zohran Mamdani. A recent Fox News poll finds registered voters backing Mamdani 49%. Cuomo has 28%. Sliwa has 13%. Current Mayor Adams, who dropped out of the race, is pulling up the rear there with 3%. Congratulations, Mr. Mayor. Election Day is just 2 weeks away. New Yorkers can cast early ballots starting this Saturday. And here now is Curtis Sliwa, the Republican nominee for New York City Mayor. Let me also note that we have been asking for an interview with Zohran Mamdani for months and with Governor Cuomo for years. And we'd like to remind them that they have a warm, open seat to come answer questions about public policy. Mr. Sliwa, a pleasure. Thanks for joining us. So just moments ago, President Trump was asked if he thinks you should drop out. Here's what he said.
I looked at the polls, and looks like we're going to have a communist as the mayor of New York. It'll be very interesting. If he dropped out, he's not going to win, and not looking too good for Cuomo either. But maybe, I don't know, if he dropped out, maybe Cuomo would have a little bit of a chance, but not much.
What's your response, sir?
Oh, I remember when many of the same powers to be were asking Donald Trump to drop out in his re-election bid, and they wanted him to move aside for Ron DeSantis. How did that work out? Look, people have a right, but I was taught in elementary school, one person, one vote. I was never taught one person, one vote, but let the billionaires decide, or the political elite. We have an election taking place. There are three major candidates. I trust the people to make the right decision. I'm the only Republican. I have the law and order values. I believe that Andrew Cuomo was the architect of no cash bail, and the apprentice is Zohran Mamdani. Raise the age. The architect is Andrew Cuomo. His apprentice, Zohran Mamdani. And finally, the architect of closing our prison, Rikers Island, was then Governor Cuomo. The apprentice is Zohran Mamdani. They agree on all these issues that are pro-criminal, and I'm the only one saying law and order, pro-victim. We're in a city, Jake, where we're best known for locking up toothpaste and not criminals. So now we let the voters decide. By November 4th, we'll have a new mayor, and there are three candidates in it. I would hope that Andrew Cuomo, instead of moaning and groaning that I should drop out, low-energy Cuomo needs to get out on the campaign trail. As you see, the New York Post reported he's been missing in action on the campaign trail for 10 days. You got to campaign at least 20 hours of a 24-hour day if you hope to become the next mayor of New York City.
So the owner of WABC Radio, where you famously hosted a program before you became a candidate, said yesterday that if you loved New York, you would get out of the race. He was on Fox earlier today. He said this. Take a listen.
President is the head of the Republican Party, and the president is telling you, vote for Cuomo. So you vote for Cuomo and go one-on-one. And if he doesn't, if Curtis stays in, let him stay in.
I assume that that's a gentleman you're friends with. What do you say to him?
Well, newsflash, we just heard the president not endorse Cuomo, not endorse me, and pretty much think it's a fait accompli that Zohran Mamdani is the next mayor, which is not true. Look, John Catsimatidis is part of that billionaire class. They think that they can pick the next mayor. How did that work out? They went to Cuomo in the primary. Cuomo was up by 40 points. Zohran Mamdani was down at 1%. Zohran Mamdani won the primary convincingly at 13%. So throw the polls right out the door. And secondarily, whatever happened with the people deciding who the mayor should be? So I should drop out. I am the only Republican. I am a designated candidate. The only independent candidate is Andrew Cuomo. You have to go through a maze to find him on the ballot. Let him go out. He gets his people to vote for him. I get my people to vote for me because I have a get-out-the-vote effort. We know Zohran Mamdani did a great job in the primary getting his vote out. There's nothing complicated about this. It's called democracy, the people's right to vote. And the billionaires don't want the people to make this decision. I trust the people, not the political elite and not the billionaires.
Let me ask you, sir, what can you point to from your background that would give voters the confidence that you have the experience needed to manage more than 350,000 New York City government employees?
Well, thank God I'm not a professional politician, Jake, because I got to tell you, de Blasio did a horrible job. Cuomo fled Albany after 10 years of being in danger of being impeached by his own Democrats. And as you know, Eric Adams, who I ran against before, I warned them he would be corrupt and there'd be chaos, and he's one and done. So I bring a fresh view, having been in the streets and the subways, the only candidate to be in the subways each and every day. I will get the best and the brightest. I'm not all-knowing. I will get men and women who have dedicated their lives to improving New York City. They will have an opportunity to do so in my administration. I'm going to cut taxes, corporate tax, property tax, which a mayor can cut, the property tax, income tax, and I'm going to shrink this budget, which is well out of the practicality of what taxpayers can fund. And this way we stop the flight. My whole goal is improve, don't move. Back the blue, hire more police. We don't have enough. Provide public safety and quality of life. That's what differentiates me from Cuomo, the architect of the state's destruction, and Zoran Mandami, the assemblyman who is his apprentice. They have similar values. I have a completely different value system. Let the people determine who they now want to be their mayor.
All right, Republican nominee for New York City Mayor Curtis Sliwa. Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure to have you.
My pleasure, Jake.
Joining us now to discuss, CNN's Jamie Gangelen, CNN Washington Bureau Chief, and former New York One employee, David Chalian. David, what do you make of this whole? First of all, what do you think?
Well, it's just interesting to listen. He wants to group this whole. He did this in the debate last week, architect and apprentice, and he wants to group the two of them together. But actually, his rhetoric should be grouped with Mamdani's, oddly enough. I know he's the Republican nominee, but this attack on the billionaire class and the elites, that is what you hear from Zoran Mamdani on the campaign trail every day as well. It's interesting to hear Sliwa sort of swimming in that same stream.
Jamie, you've spoken to a number of New York political strategists, Democrats and Republicans. What are you hearing?
To quote William Shakespeare, a plague on all their houses. Look, by and large, the people I spoke to, both Democrats and Republicans, they don't like any of these candidates. They think that Cuomo is done. They have real problems with Mamdani being able to manage the city. And with all respect to Sliwa from my childhood, he's not going to win this race. They're concerned about a competent mayor coming into a city that really needs it.